And with all this being said, we are finally at the end of May and we are in June now, and it is time to rank all the films I was able to catch in May 2026. There were some hits, there were some misses, but it's fine to go through in all 8 movies that I saw in May. Real quick before I get started, there were unfortunately 3 movies I did miss in May that I really wanted to catch on. One of them being I Love Boosters. I wanted to go see this movie so bad, but I could not find the screening to save my life. And so, unfortunately, I had to miss this one. I also missed Tuner, which came out in the same week. Had an interesting idea, and it caught my attention. Just wasn't able to find the screening for it. And the same thing goes for my third movie. I missed Corporate Retreat, which looked like a little bit of a horror comedy. I had my eye out for, just wasn't able to snag it. And finally, now that we got that out of the way, number 8, it's going to have to go to Passenger. This was a train wreck of a movie that I really was hoping that maybe the reviews were wrong. And so I didn't have high expectations for this movie. And then I went into it, and it was as generic could possibly be. The CGI looked awful. The whole demon possession thing was awful. I couldn't get behind this movie, and I was struggling so hard to root for it, but by the time I got out of that theater, I was like, one and done. I don't want to touch it again. Number 7 is going to be a bit of an interesting one, and we probably will not be the only time that we hear this director on my list, at least for this year. We got Rennie Harlem with Deep Water. This was an interesting movie about, I believe it was the guy from The Dark Knight who plays Harvey Dent. He is a pilot, and something goes wrong on the plane. They end up crashing in the ocean, and they're trying to survive from sharks. It's as bad as you think it is, especially when they start showing the sharks. That's when it gets even worse. There was a lot of potential with this movie. I don't want that to be mistaken. There was a lot of potential in the beginning of this movie. I was getting on board with it. I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. But then some stuff started happening where it made me think. I was like, who directed this movie once I got to like the second and third act? And I looked it up after. I was like, it's the same dude that made all the Stranger movies, the most recent trilogy. That explained so much after that. I was just kind of like, I'm one step back from touching the Strangers anytime soon. This just kind of solidified it for me. Going into more of a positive direction, at least, and where I have some mixed feelings, and I think it's a solid movie at best. We got number 6 with The Devil Wears Prada 2. Now, this is what happens when you bring everybody, your whole original cast, 20 years later back. They all slip into the shoes, slip into their roles, but you struggle to have a really good plot that is giving you a purpose as to why this movie exists. And that is the biggest flaw with this movie, is it's trying to do one too many plots. Like, they don't know if there would be a third or fourth movie, so they have to throw all their ideas in at once, and it just kind of ends up struggling a little bit, especially towards the tail end of the half when they start trying to change the plot of what it originally was supposed to be. It gets a little messy, but we can all at least say Anne Hathaway is great as always, and same thing with Meryl Streep. Everybody in this movie was great. So, check this out if you want to. It'll be on streaming, I believe, in July, at least July or August. And just keep your ear out for it. Number 5 now is going to go to my most recent watch, The Backrooms. Now, what's nice to enjoy about this movie is it's weird. It's bizarre. It's not really something that you're going to expect. I can at least give the positive feelings towards this from my experience and how uneasy and uncomfortable I felt watching this movie and just not knowing which direction it was going to turn. It wasn't until about the hour-away mark where I started to figure out how this movie was going to end, but it was still pretty solid. It was still fun. It's weird. It's struggling with the characters and with the story a little bit, but if you can forgive this and give yourself a good experience like I did, you won't have many complaints. Number 4, that's going to go to another sequel on this list, and we got Mortal Kombat 2. Now, this movie is finally the official tournament of Mortal Kombat. All the fight choreography, everything that is behind it, it is so fun. I had such a great time with these characters, and they found a clever way to bring back Scorpion and Sub-Zero into the movie. However, with the same flaw of Backrooms comes the same flaw in Mortal Kombat 2, where there's just not really a lot behind these characters. And some of the decision making that they did with this movie, I tend to struggle with in thinking, wow, you just kind of did a cheap cop out here and there. And you could see it from a mile away how it was going to end. But of course, the very end of this movie, they're making it clear there will be a third movie. There will be another one coming out. You could definitely expect that. As for when, I don't know. I'm hoping it's not another 5 years from now. But if you like Carnage, if you liked Mortal Kombat, the game, you can get a lot of enjoyment out of this movie. Number 3, it's going to go to a movie with Henry Cavill as well as Jake Gyllenhaal called In the Gray. Now, this movie caught my attention way back in April to where I saw those names and I was like, I have to sit down. I have to be able to go see this. And I had the lucky chance of being able to see this in theaters. And boy, oh boy, was it so much fun. Just watching these casual heist plans play out in such a clever way. And just all the explosion, all the action. It's so much fun. And the only kind of issue I tend to have with this movie is it gets to be a little bit generic on the heist action side of things, where you kind of already know how it's going to play out. But that doesn't mean that you don't get any fun out of these characters. These characters have a lot to be with them, and that's where you get most of your excitement and your enjoyment with this movie. Jake Gyllenhaal, he's an absolute blast as a bodyguard. So fun. He reminded me of his Roadhouse movie. That's his remake, at least, that he did. That's where I got the most enjoyment out of it, was he was kind of pulling that character out for this movie, and it was great. Henry Cavill, he's fun. I haven't seen him in much work outside of Man of Steel. So seeing this, I was like, you know what? It doesn't shock me that his name is attached to this movie, because he does feel like a fitting role for this character, and he brings it a lot. My top 2 now, which both should come as no shock because they both have received the most positive ratings. Number 2 is going to go to Hokum. Now, this was a movie I had little to no knowledge of whatsoever. I didn't watch a trailer of it, nothing like that, went in completely blind. And that was the best way I could have gone into this movie. Now, I don't have much knowledge over folk horror. I think I've seen The Witch, and that's in Nosferatu, if you want to call that folk horror. I don't have a lot of knowledge over it. Now, when I went to go see Hokum, I had modest expectations for this, because I was like, this is either going to be really good or I'm going to absolutely hate it. Not to my surprise, I enjoyed it so much. I thought Adam Scott character was excellent, and where you hate him in the beginning, but then there's a certain moment, a certain scene that happens where it completely flips it on its head, and you start to actually root for him, where you're like, yeah, you're an asshole, but I want to see you make it out at the end of this. All the creepy makeup and the set design, everything looked phenomenal. I believe this was shot in Ireland too as well. The cinematography shows for this movie. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it is so haunting. And I listened to an interview where Adam was talking about the set and how much work they put into it, and how when he was spending like 2 to 3 weeks on it, he was constantly picking up new things. And I can appreciate a director and a producer trying to put that much effort into just the set alone, especially when you're spending like 90% of your movie in this one room alone. You have to make it stand out as much as possible, and you can't just have it a blank sheet, or else everybody's just gonna be like, let's move on to the next one. So everybody in this movie did a great job. I love the ending of this movie. I feel like all these ideas were put very well together. All the acting was perfect on page. I thought every character served a purpose, and that was so nice and so refreshing to not just cop out characters left and right that may be deemed as more useless than you may think, but actually every single person in here played an important factor into this movie, and I enjoyed that so much. But my number 1, which is not a shock because it's 90% of everybody's number 1 in the world right now, is going to go to Obsession. I am obsessed with this movie. I don't get tired of hearing it come out of other people's mouths. seeing as it's gone, just made more and more money at the box office, more people are going to go see it. It makes me happy. It makes me excited. This, you can't deny there is talent here, whether it's from Curry Barker or Indy Navarrete. Um, Everybody in this movie is absolutely talented. There is not a single thing I would change about this movie. The only reason why I haven't given it a perfect score is because it's one of those movies where I want to rewatch one more time before I really make that firm decision. But I'm to say that we are in the process of witnessing history with what this movie is doing. It's insane. It's absolutely mind-boggling how much movie. I think now, as of now, when it's in its third week, it has made around 150 mil, and it actually just got announced that it was supposed to be released on digital in June, and they scrapped that. They're keeping it in the theater longer, which is even great news. Um, I want to see what Curry Barker has more left. The idea behind this movie, whereas it's so simple, but it takes a concept and it's like how far can we go with this concept? And it does it in such a great idea that I was at least really happy with it. Like I said, all the performances, the way that the story worked all the way around, there's not a single thing I would change about this movie. Just seeing all these actors when they are obsessed and just breaking the one wish willow and watching it all skyrocket from there. No explanation needed. It just goes for it. You can't really find many flaws about this movie. I only hope it stays in theaters longer. Eventually, we will have to get it on 4K and be able to watch it at home. But I wanted to keep doing the numbers that it is doing, and Obsession lands here at number 1 for me. And guys, with that being said, that is my May recap. All the movies that I have seen, all the ones I have enjoyed, all the ones that I did not enjoy so much. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Let me know everything that you saw, whether your opinion about Obsession, Hokum. If you enjoyed Passenger, let me know why you enjoyed it. I'm interested in hearing that. And leave all your comments, likes, shares, and I'll see you guys in the next video.